See what I have to put up with? Do you see? He can't handle himself like he can't. What's his bump? What's Uti, I must be done with it because yena Uti is our flight bed. But ndithi mina ibhedla izohlala because hey, who's filming? Me. Okay. So the battery is going to stay batterying things. Okay. But we move. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Some ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. What? Honey, let me charge my phone. Let me charge the CV one.
How long are you gonna record?
It's only one bar.
Well, how long are you gonna record?
I'm hoping 30 minutes. Are you gonna take it off?
Look what I can do.
Hey,
I'm Leletu, a girl from a small town called Port Elizabeth in South Africa in the Eastern Cape. I'm a mummy to 2 kids, Amani and Kali. Me and their dad decided to move our little family abroad.
Karim, look, we're dancing. You wanna dance too?
I created this channel to show people from my hometown that change is good, and in the process gained a global family. People from different walks of life experience things I never knew possible. So, join me on my journey in Lele's new life.
So guys, here I am during the day having a sit down after the whole shopping experience at Big C as I promised, and I recorded the video. I recorded it fully and finished it. Then when I played it back, I could barely hear myself talk. It was so noisy. So I decided, you know what? Let's just redo this video and get it over and done with. Start it over, girl, because it was just too noisy. I didn't want to re-edit that or try and fix it by any means necessary. So here goes. This is my second attempt to this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do click like and subscribe, please, because this is a lot of work, but nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed the shopping experience at Big C and walked around with me and all of that. And I'm hoping that you guys are feeling really good as I am. Really happy wherever you are. Yeah, man, let's start with this conversation.
Pull the lever, Crunk.
So as I promised you, I wanted us to sit down and have a little talk about my birth experience in Thailand. It was a wonderful experience, I'm not going to lie, but nonetheless, I'm going to just list down a few things, a few notes that I've taken just so that I can have a little bit of structure during this whole conversation. Let's talk private versus public or semi-private hospitals. Now, this is one of the things that were shocking to me when I got here, because back where I am from, in my experience in South Africa, there are 2 systems. There is a public system and there's a private system. There's no in between. But here in Thailand, it works out a little bit different. You have your private hospitals, semi-private hospitals, and then you have your public hospitals. Now, all of these range, they differ in terms of pricing and the amount of care that you would receive, right? Be it the private hospitals, exclusively private hospitals, are really expensive. Then you find your semi private hospitals, which are somewhat affordable, and then you'll find your public hospitals, which are slightly cheaper than both of these. But because I'm a foreigner, I get to pay either way, whether I use the private system or the public system. Each one has its own price, but it just differs on how much I'm paying when I'm using whatever service that I'm getting there. So during my experience, when I found out that I'm pregnant with Mali, I then went to a private hospital that is just close to my house. That's where I did my scan just to find out how far the pregnancy is, and I did my first few prenatal visits there. What I found was, like, yes, the hospital is clean, it's really beautiful, and the doctor was knowledgeable, very caring, and all of that. I got really good service, but it was just a little bit expensive for me.
Ask about the price tag, tell 'em that shit's expensive.
Because, hey, I was asked to do a lot of tests and all of that, because I mentioned that in my family tree I do have history of hypertension and diabetes. So it's almost like they wanted to check for everything. And this is not my first rodeo, I've got 2 pregnancies under my belt, so I kind of knew what to expect. And also I was very calm and ready going in there, because I knew what to expect. But for some reason with Mali, I was getting really anxious because of the fact that they would quote all the stuff that would possibly go wrong. So I found myself getting very anxious and very worried, even in early pregnancy. And I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Let me just get a second opinion elsewhere. And when they found that, okay, there's some issues with my BP and all of that, then they were talking about a possible cesarean. This is early pregnancy, yeah. They were talking about cesarean and stuff, and that made me super anxious. And I was like, nope, I want to get a second opinion. I don't want a cesarean, I wanted natural birth. And I was really adamant about natural birth, so I wasn't budging on that one. And when they mention cesarean, it just triggers me. And then I was like, okay, let me get a second, third opinion if I need to, so that I can make sure that I make an informed decision. And then I went to another private hospital that is close by. The reason why I was going to private hospitals, because here in Thailand, English is not the medium of instruction. Most people speak Thai, and I can't speak Thai, so I didn't want the hassle of having to navigate my way around the language and also navigate my way around to the whole pregnancy situation. So I wanted something easy, English speaking places, places that can basically talk to me in the language that I understand. So that's why I was like sticking exclusively to private hospitals, even though they are a lot more expensive because of the fact that they speak English in those hospitals.
Ask about the price tag, tell 'em that shit's expensive.
So I went to this other hospital with my blood work and everything, and they did some more tests and all of that. They were talking about the same thing, possible cesarean, early pregnancy, and I was like, nope, I'm not having that. I want natural birth, and that's that. So I left that as well. I went to another hospital. So me and Zayn, we were like researching on like possible hospitals that we can get to, and then we found an Adventist hospital. It's called Bangkok Adventist Hospital, Mission Hospital. And Zayn was like, okay, this one you can go here because he's Adventist, so he felt a little bit comfortable with the hospital. So that's where I went. And I'm not going to lie, this is not talking down on the hospitals that I've been to and all of that, but Mission Hospital really, really quieted all of that anxiety. Even though later on, as the pregnancy progressed, it was adamant that I will have to do the C, but we'll talk more about that as the story goes. But they were very patient with me. They actually listened to what I wanted, and they tried to kind of meet me halfway. So they were saying, okay, before we start talking about cesareans and all of these things, let's first, monitor you and monitor this pregnancy and see what options do we have. And that alone made me feel a little bit more comfortable because I didn't feel like I was pushed to make a decision. Now, in Thailand, I don't have experience with the public system, so I can't speak for that. But I sat with a friend of mine who has had a baby in a public hospital, and her experience was totally different from mine. So maybe in the next upcoming videos that I might do, we might just sit together and then she would talk about her experience when she feels ready to share, and then you will get to hear how her experience went, because from what she told me, it wasn't really a good experience. But me, on the other hand, I had a private hospital, and Mission Hospital is a semi-private hospital, which bridges the gap between the public health system and the private health system. So it's a little bit affordable, but you get to pay either way, so it doesn't really matter. Let's talk medicals in Thailand. C-section or no C-section? That is the question. So now, I don't know, as I've mentioned before, with regards to the pregnancy and them monitoring me, and they would talk about a possible C-section. I got the idea that I don't know if this is a preference for Thai women or in predominantly Thai hospitals. I'm not quite sure. From what I gathered and from what I could feel, it's almost like the default position was C-section. Whereas in my country, especially like coming from a public health system, when I had Amani and Kali, I had them in a public hospital. The default is vaginal birth, like a natural birth. So the whole thing about C-section, I was not hearing it because I had my own fears about C-section, and I was reading up things about the C-section and a worst case scenario this, and to me it's surgery, so I took it in that sense that, oh my god, it's a major surgery and I shouldn't do it if I don't have to. So, but with the hospitals here, it's almost like C-section. It's like it's a normal thing. It's like I didn't understand it. I'm not gonna lie. So let me know, like, is it a preference, a person's preference? Maybe so many women opt to have a C-section that it became normative for that to happen. Or is it like a hospital preference? Is it because it costs more that you get to make a little bit more money in the process? Or is it because the natural process takes a little bit longer because you have to work with the mom. You have to wait for the baby. You have to be patient with the mom and the baby. So it might take a little bit more time, and doctors are just, too busy and would want to get it over and done with and go to the next one as quick as possible, other than to sit and wait for natural birth to happen. Or is it like because they're scared of natural birth? I don't know. Yeah, it was super weird for me because I was like, no man, I've had 2 of my pregnancies naturally. So this one was like natural for me. It was a no-brainer. But it's almost like every now and then, like as the pregnancy progresses, it was more evident that you're gonna have to do the C-section. There's no other way, because there's this issue, there's that issue, and it was just issue after issue popping up. Yeah, so that was my experience with them. And another thing, when we found out that we have to now pay for the whole entire birth experience straight from the pocket, because my medical aid was not going to cover my pregnancy. Yeah, it's one of the things that I wish I knew before I got pregnant, and somehow mitigated that, because it was one hell of a cost. But nonetheless, it is what it is, and it happened, and I'm not, it is what it is. It happened, and we move. Baby's here, safe and sound. Everything was taken care of, and we were fine. We are still fine, so I'm thankful about that. Maybe in the next upcoming video, I will detail how much did it cost to have the whole birth experience here in Thailand, and I will compare it with the quote that I got from the private hospital that I was attending previously, just so you can see how different they both are. And I'm grateful though that we made the choice that we did, and also we went to the hospital that we went to, because I can never take away from the experience that I got. Nonetheless, it was really, really cool. I'm not gonna lie. Now we get to gifts. Just before baby was scheduled to come, I had a meeting because, okay, I am a bit of a control freak. I want to know what goes on at all times so that I am never caught off guard. I wish I had that, same mind with regards to my medical aid. But
Stupid.
we're not talking about that now. So I had a meeting with my doctor and the nurse that's in attendance there. I was asking, like, where am I going to stay, and also, like, what should I bring? Because with my experience with Amani and Kali, I had to carry a whole bag with my clothes and her and the baby's clothes, because the hospital doesn't provide anything for the baby except for I think nappies and also maternity pads for the duration that you are in the hospital. Once you leave, you're not getting anything. So I wanted to find out what should I pack and things like that, and they were saying, no, you don't need to pack anything. You can pack nightgowns if you want, but the hospital provides everything for you and baby. I didn't trust, because I was like, I don't want to be caught off guard, not at all. So I packed a little bag for me, okay, not for the baby. And then we went to the hospital. So upon admission, when we went to the hospital, I got to my room, and voila, I have a little bag that was set up there. My fridge is nicely stocked with water and juice, and inside the bag is everything that I'm going to need from bathing essentials, toothpaste, toothbrush, like everything that I'm going to need, baby powder, like soap, everything. And I was like, wow, okay, I didn't need to use anything because I was using the nightgowns from the hospital. I started using my own nightgown on day 3 when they took off, my IV and things like that. Then I was able to wear my own clothes. But nonetheless, everything was well provided for. I was really, really happy about that. And then baby came, and then they provided everything for the baby, from nappies to bathing essentials to clothes, everything, even like small things. I took a video of like the stuff that we got there. It was a lot of things. We're still using them to this day. And they gave the baby a tin of milk, because they do ask you at the hospital whether you want to breastfeed or you want to bottle feed, and I chose to bottle feed because my 2 experiences with Hamani and Kali, my boobs were engorged so bad that it was super painful to like give breast milk to the kids. So I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother. Straight bottle with Kali and also Mali. So it was a no-brainer. I was going to bottle feed. So they provided that. They provided bottles. They provided more than 4 sets of bottles, and milk, breast pads, and all of that stuff for me. And it was super, super cool. They even like took care of the baby. Like they took the baby to the nursery. I didn't have to have the baby, not unless like they bring the baby for bonding sessions and stuff, and then they take the baby right back. So I was really, really happy about that. We had goodies both for me and him, and we were set. So we clearly didn't need to bring anything, nothing at all. And I'm super, super glad about that, because I didn't have to spend much at all, which is cool. Because I remember with Amani it was almost the same. With Amani I had a huge baby shower, and I didn't have to buy anything for Amani because she had everything from clothes, baby cots, personal bathing essentials and milk and all of that. Like everything was provided for. So it kind of reminds me now, like Mali is the same. With Kali we kind of had to spend because
Tell 'em that shit's expensive.
yeah, so everything was well provided for. I'm really, really happy about that. Now let's talk the private rooms. Oh my gosh, hospitals here have like hotel like private rooms. So my room was a private room, and when I was asking the nurse as to where am I going to stay and all of that, like the whole process, she showed me the room. This is the room that you're gonna be staying in. It has a fridge, a nice sofa, a breakfast table, what else? Your bed, a shower and toilet inside, like everything that I wanted was in that room. So I didn't have to even leave my room. Now I don't know about communal rooms, all right? The only experience that I have with communal rooms is communal rooms from back home, With Amani and Kali, I was in a public hospital, so I was using communal rooms. And there is no privacy in communal rooms. You hear everybody's business. You hear when they have when visiting hours start, their people come in to see the babies. Um, they make noise, and you are there whether you have a visitor or not. You have your baby right next to you at all times. There's no nursery that's going to keep your baby. But here it's like a lot different. I had nurses that were attending to me specifically. My private room, the nursery, Mali was the only one in that nursery, and all the nurses that were there, about 2 at a time, they're attending to Mali at all times. Even at night, I don't have to sleep with the baby. I don't have to be with the baby. They bring the baby when it's time for bonding session, and then they take the baby when it's time for me to sleep. It was my choice to be with the baby because I was a little bit, as I've mentioned before, I am a little bit of a control freak, so I don't know what was going through my head. I wanted to be with my baby like all the time. I wanted to see him. I wanted to be with him. I don't know. I was super exhausted though, but I wanted to see him. But they kept on reassuring me that the baby's okay, the baby's fine, baby's in the nursery, baby's okay, baby's well fed, baby's okay, baby's sleeping, baby, things like that. So I was always at ease. And visitation hours, because I'm in a private room, there is no limit to visitation hours. Unlike my previous experience back home where I'm using communal rooms. And yeah, before we get to that, like I was talking about the whole privacy situations. If the doctor comes in and talks about your business, everybody can hear, But with this one, because it's a private room, the doctor comes in, sits and talks to you directly. Like no one hears your business, no one is listening in. Like you have complete privacy at all times. And then with the visitation hours, there's no limit. With communal rooms, unfortunately, there are limits to visitation because you are not the only one in the ward, so they don't want to maybe disturb the other, patients, so they would have a time for each, like morning, noon, and after hours. I don't know, but with my experience in this hospital, there was no cap on visitation. Zayn and the kids could come in at any time. They could come in the morning and leave straight at night. They could have a sleepover if they wanted to. I did ask about that, and they said, yeah, if they want to come sleep over, then that's okay. We can make that happen. We can have an extra bed for them and all of that. But it's because Zayn was very serious about, the kids not having a disruption in their routine, so they get to go to school. And even though I'm not there, so we mustn't break their routine. So we agreed that the kids can come when they come back from school, and then we do homework, and then they go, just as we were doing at home. So that's what they were doing. Like they would come in and around 3 and leave at 11 p.m, sometimes 10, depending on if the kids fell asleep or not. And it was super cool, it was fun, I'm not gonna lie. And the nurses, they are always there attending to your needs at all times. And I had a friend that came in to visit me on day 4. She came in and she left at night. No one had any issues, and it was like they gave us like really, really good service. And then let's talk the food, guys. This was my least favorite thing. Oh Lord. You see there, that's where I draw the line. I was like, nope, nope, nope. So let's talk the overall experience, right? I would give Mission Hospital, aka Bangkok Adventist Hospital, a 10 out of 10, guys. Like a 10 out of 10, because they really, really, really took care of me. I'm not going to lie. Day 1, day 2, post-op, they took care of me. I'm talking from bathing me, changing me, and I didn't have to lift a finger. I literally even didn't have to lift Mali. That's how much they were taking care of me. And then when it came to like walking and helping me to like exercise, like how to move and things like that, those 2 nurses were the business, because they really were patient with me. I remember the first day I had to get up from the bed and start walking, right? So here I am, I'm busy talking English, I'm speaking fast, I'm not using cuss words, but I'm like complaining. I'm saying, I shouldn't have done this. I wanted to do a vaginal birth, but you guys wanted me to do this, because it was super, super painful to get up from bed. But they were so patient with me, like, are you okay? Like very soft hands, handling me with soft hands. I was like so fragile. I was so fragile. I was so like, it hurt everywhere, but I was really happy that they were there to assist me throughout the process, even with the baby. From bathing him, holding him, feeding him, and all of that, I didn't have to do it. There were instances where I was like pushing to do it myself, and yes, they were giving me the time and the space to do so. But when they saw, okay, you're getting a little bit tired now, let's take over here and let's take the baby from you, and they were like spot on at all times. Sometimes I didn't even have to ring the bell. They were just there to check in on me. Are you okay? Have you eaten? Did you finish your food? Things like that. Do you need anything? They were there like all the time. Even the assistant lady that was helping us with his birth certificate, 3 to 4 times she would come into my room. This is the baby's details. This is where we are with the process of obtaining his birth certificate and all of that. The nurses even gave him a Thai name, guys. His name is Dek Chai. Dek Chai. Okay, yes. Dek Chai. It means honorable little boy. But it's written somewhere on his, papers and stuff. But I'm really, really happy about that whole entire experience. And I had a few issues. Firstly, I had edema. I was swollen. Like throughout my pregnancy, I was swollen from feet all the way up to my thighs and my hands too. So moving was very difficult for me, number 1.
Mr. Bombastic.
Number 2, the baby was breached, and that was a telltale sign that you're going to be doing a cesarean. But they tried, by all means to like make me visit other hospitals, like the other specialists, to see where the baby is and try to move the baby. But for some reason, Mali wasn't budging. he wasn't moving, no way. And also I was anemic, and my blood pressure was just skyrocketing for some reason. So apart from all of those issues that I had, that's why they were like attending to me like all the time to just monitor me, find out how far I am, how well I am, and whether or not I need any assistance, and so on and so forth. So overall, it was amazing. I'm really, really grateful. This experience really surpassed my 2 experiences with Amani and Kali from back home. Not that I didn't enjoy having them back home, but I'm talking about the overall experience being at the hospital and the care that I received. So tell me about your experience. How was it? Detail it on the comment section and let's get talking. For now, that's it for me. In the next upcoming videos, I will share how much it cost and also give you the quotes that I got from the previous hospital that I attended and the one that I settled with. And you will have to see how much it would be. I would love to thank Mission Hospital, aka Bangkok Adventist Hospital, and Dr. Santon, who was my obstetrician, and Dr. Pasad, who is my pediatrician. All of them are amazing, and all the nurses that attended to me, I really, really, really appreciate each and every one of them. So that is it from me and the family. Mali is asleep right now. Amani just woke up. It is goodbye from us. Khop khun kha.